مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا.
قال الله تبارك وتعالى سورة الفجر والفجر وليال عشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم الذي حجر. صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم والعاقبة للمتقين ونحن على ذلك لمن شاهدين وشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this beautiful day of Jumat al-Mubarak in this last days of the Dhul-Hijjah. And we know that there are 4 months of sacred which been mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Dhul-Hijjah, Dhul-Hijjah, Muharram, wa Rajab al-Muttar. These are the 4 months which in the Islamic calendar have value and significance. And as we know, the people who are for the Hajj, they are preparing. Many of us being blessed to have the opportunity to go for the Hajj and Umrah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our Hajj and Umrah and all the ibadah. I recited the verse from Surah Fajr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take qasam, oath 5 times on a matter. If Allah take oath once, it's enough for entire creation. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, wal fajr, by the dawn, wal layal, and the night, ashr, the 10 days and 10 nights of this beautiful month of Dhul-Hijjah. According to majority of the ulama and mufassirin, this is the revelation for the 10 days of Hajj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed Ummah with. وَالشَّفْعِ وَالْوَتْرِ, and the odd and even. وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَسْرِ, as the night passes. That is the night in the Muzdalifah, as we crosses over there. هَلْ فِي ذَلِكَ قَسَمٌ لِذِي حِجْرٍ, and this is, there is a signs for the people who have intellect. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take oath by these things, there must be a significance for a Muslim to understand, for a faithful to be believing and to be learning and practicing. As we know, in the month of Ramadan, there is a significance. Quran was revealed. Jibreel Islam comes in Laylatul Qadr, and Muslims get forgiven for their sin. We fast in the day. We have the blessed night, and we do Taraweeh. So there are so many things which we do. But in the Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have blessed with His own significance. There's not a month like Dhul-Hijjah in the Islamic calendar. There's not a day like a day of Arafat, because there Jibreel comes and the Laylatul Qadr. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make a nuzul, jalal nuzul, for the Jalla of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is on the 9th of Arafat, the 9th of Dhul-Hijjah, and the Yawm Arafat. There's no day is like a day of Arafat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when Himself is descending to the level where He would forgive the sins of Ibn Adam, of the children of Adam alayhi salam, when the shaitan put the dust on himself and cries over that I made this person to commit sin, disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His messenger, and disobey the commands. And now today Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has wiped out the sin as if they never existed. When a Muslim make a sin, a major sin, which is kabir, al-kabair, when we make a kabair, when we do the sin as a believer, there is no solution according to the understanding of the fuqaha and ulama, and according to the Islamic understanding. The only solution for our major sin in the worldly life is to go for the Hajj. And when the people complain about not having enough finances, the person who ever performed Hajj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide the provision for that. This is the promise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So for us as a believer, this is the time where we should bless and get the blessing and seek the forgiveness for the Ummah. Again, people question that in this time what the people who left behind should do. There are people who are doing the Hajj and there are who are not doing the Hajj. The majority of the world does not go for the Hajj. So what is the command for the majority of people? We should do the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should seek the forgiveness. This is the time of seeking the repentance, making the tawbah and istighfar. Seeking the forgiveness and also doing the tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives the people along with the people in the Hajj. So when we do the talbiyah, when we do the zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we seek the istighfar, and we should actually, every Muslim community, this is an opportunity in 10 days, as we talk about in the Ramadan, people are very negligent in this matter. We should arrange lectures and talks and teaching and education for these 10 days. There's so much to learn about in these month of in the month of Dhul-Hijjah, in these 10 days. It's a very significant day. Even though we have 10 significant days, but the ajr is for the entire month of Dhul-Hijjah we get. So we should be very careful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells in this ayah of Surah Kawsar, Inna a'tainaka al-Kawsar, fasalli li rabbika wanhar. So make the salah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for your Lord, and make the sacrifice. Nahar is the making the sacrifice and slaughtering, which we do, those who are not in there. And they have to do their own rituals when they are the Hajj. For us who are left behind, we should perform. Some brother questions, recently a question came, which is very good question to be asked or be answered, that according to this person, knowledge, the people who are not in Hajj, they are not supposed to do the sacrifice. The reality is, it has been a tradition practice with the Sunnah of Nabi ﷺ and the Sahaba Ikram, and accordingly, 1400 years Muslims have been doing sacrifice. So we cannot say all the Muslims that were wrong and they were negligent or they were doing something out of the Sunnah, they're doing sacrifice when they are not in the Hajj. The fact is, there's a fatwa, there's understanding, there's interpretation of Islam, that those people who can afford, those who are asahib and nasab, they can afford to buy an animal, they should slaughter the animal. Goat is one person, cow and camel, 7 people can be taking part in the cost of it. And nahar is different than zabiha. What we do is the Qurbani, what we call, that nahar is done to the camel, which is a very particular way of slaughtering camel. When you see, you will find out, you tie the leg of the camel in the front leg and put the spear in the middle, and then when they fall on the side, then you slaughter them. This is called nahar according to the Arabic understanding. For us as a Muslim who are left behind, there are many significance of this month and this day. There are a lot to talk about. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was asked about the significance of this month, and he was trying to tell the people that how important this month is. So Sahabi asked, Ya Rasulullah, is it more than a person going for jihad? So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam replied, if a person who sells all of his wealth, everything what he possesses, and go for jihad and does not return back. So means everything is given. That is equal to the ajr of doing the Hajj and the prayers in this month. How significant is this? So we should be very observant about it. We should sit down with our children in the home. As a parent, we have an obligation to teach our children. There's a very serious problem going on which we do not see. Unfortunately, this is the only moment where people come together. They are kind of a captive audience to talk about certain issues, because we are all very free people. We think in America everything is free, so we are free. There's something to be understood. As a Muslim, we have to be proactive. We have to be part of the community. We have to be part of the active system. A very active campaign is going on today to teach the children about LGBTQ things. It is being taught for the children. The children are not having the right to speak. Somebody has to speak for their right. And Muslim and Christian have come together. Many places they are coming together to speak against and voice our opinion. And there are being places where we can call our politicians and tell them that we do not want you to pass this bill. If the bill is passed, then you know what is going to happen to the children when they are very young. First, second grade children are taught things which are not part of the, not even many adults do not understand. And this is where the mind game is being played. Human brain is called plasticity. What is plasticity? Is that you can rewire the brain. There's a whole neurocognitive therapy. Just giving an example, not related. If you teach somebody a certain way to think and a certain way to act and a certain way to behave, their brain wired on that. For example, if a military person, if he's trained just to fight and not to think, his job is to fight. If he's being trained that you're securing your nation, whether you kill your own citizen, for that person, I'm doing a service to the country even though I'm killing all the civilians. So he would not think. This is a brain training. But when the person come out and says, why you're killing people, nonsense. And his answer will be, I'm saving my country. I'm obeying order from the above. So when the child is raised and brought, people are the part of their community and culture. So this is what they are trying to generate, the new generation, next generation. When British came to Indian subcontinent, Muslims refused to accept the British dominance. So Muslims started learning language and anything. So what they did, they established this school. And they left the older generation to live for another 50, 30 years. And what they did, they produced a new generation of those who like to learn the English system. And now when today we see, there are 2 classes. One class is religious class and one class is liberal class, and that's how they get labeled. So now there's a label of liberal and conservative and orthodox and extremist and terrorist. All these terms are coined so that you could call these people to be that label. So we should be active now so we will not have to track back our children who will be waking up in the day and tell them, I'm not a girl and I'm an it and I'm an animal and I'm a dog. Nobody wants to have a human to be dog and nobody wants dog to be human. Dogs are dog, humans are human. Man is a man and woman is a woman. How do we understand? My learning of the faith is, in Islam, a gender is identified by external appearance. The anatomy. Man has an anatomy and a woman has an anatomy. Even though they are mammalians by classification, they have other special qualities of each breed and nestle and nation, or any what you call the genetic inheritance. But man is a man and a woman is a woman. You cannot say I'm a it. You cannot say I'm a wall. This is total ridiculous thing they are feeding to the child mind, and the child will start behaving like whatever they want. So there's a discipline and there's a training and there's an education. So we do need institutions who are private institutions, so we can educate them in the basic foundation. Besides that, we should also be part of the public system. We are paying tax. We are taxpayer. So we should voice our opinion. Again, what I'm saying is my personal opinion. Masjid and community has nothing to do with it. This is the personal thing. Because tomorrow they will say you are doing this. So we'll close down this place. So nothing to do with the administration. It is my personal knowledge and my personal opinion. So we as a Muslim have to be proactive. We do not have to be reactive, and unfortunately we are always being reactive. And that's where things get a little upsetting, because you take the push back and then things react very different. So Dhul-Hijjah, the most important rukn, the article of the Hajj, is to be on the Arafat, in the Midan Arafat, in the boundaries of Arafat. It was being asked that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, if a person on a camelback walked through the Arafat boundaries, he has a Hajj. But there are other articles of the Hajj that need to be completed. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was so kind. He said, if you forgot, some Sahabi came and they said, I did not shave my head, and I did the Jumurat, and I did this, and back and forth. He said, just go and do it. So intention is that you are in the Hajj and you're doing all that. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, khair al-du'a, al-du'a yawm al-Arafah. And we should understand, this is the day we cannot spend watching TV, playing games. These are very precious moments. We are so important that we do not even comprehend what we are going to lose, because we do not know next year we will be here or not. So we need to living in the present time. We're not living in the past. We're not just only planning for the future, but we should plant the seed now for the future generation to come. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have taken oath by this 10 days. And also the significance of this Yawm Arafah. There's no day like a day in Yawm Arafah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, not Jibreel alone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself made the Jalal Nuzul on the lowest heaven and forgive the sin of those who are seeking the forgiveness. So this is something important we should put in our head. This Yawm Arafah is coming, and next day for us is the Salat al-Eid, which is not for the people in the Hajj. Okay? They are doing Jumrah, but we are here. They will do Tawaf al-Ifadah, Tawaf al-Wida after that, and they will be doing their rituals, but we should be doing our rituals, which is here. And what we do the Talbihat, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. This is the Yawm Tashriq, when we do after each Fard Salah, at least 1 to 3 times a day, and this each Salah, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. We gain from this. What do we do? Why I'm talking about it? We do not comprehend. If we do it for us, we don't do it for others. And when we do it publicly, we make others to learn and do the practice. So we should do it with our children. We should sit down in our home with the family and start doing these practices so that our children will not be feeling lost. The beautiful thing about the month of Ramadan and the Dhul-Hijjah is that even though the month will be 29 days or 30 days, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us ajr for entire 30 days month. This is another significance. If we fast, the people who are not there, if they fast on the Yawm Arafah, the 9th of Dhul-Hijjah, they will get forgiveness of the sin for a year past and for a year now. So current year and past year sins are forgiven, and this is important. And many of the, you will find the Muslim, they fast for 10 days. These 10 days are very significant. These are nafil fasting, non-obligatory. Whoever can do it should get the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The another thing is important of this, we see that Quran began in the month of Ramadan, right? Laylatul Qadr. But when did it end? We never talk about when the Quran stopped coming. That was Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa radaytu lakum al-Islam Madina. In the Arafat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ended the message coming from heaven. Jibreel salam came, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam completed the message. And at that time, many of the Sahaba started crying. Why? They knew the message and time is done. And they felt, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was one of those. Abu Hurairah says, when I saw him crying, I said, why this sheikh is crying? So then he explained to him, Rasulullah's message is complete, mission is over, everything is completed, and now Rasulullah is going to leave us. So kullu nafsin za'iqatul maut. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had to die. إِنَّكَ مَيَّتٌ وَهُمْ. He died, he will die, and you will die, and everybody will have to die. So we are preparing for not just here, our action are done physically, the reward is double. Here, في الدنيا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. Allah give us all the hasanat. All the hasanat. There's nothing left out. This is such a comprehensive dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have taught us in the Quran that everybody should understand. We should get the feeling of it. We should not just read it like rhetorically we read it. We should mean it when we are in the most desperate moment, when we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, give me this particular one. Remember we were young and we had the school examination coming and we say, Ya Allah, pass, get me the first class, the top scores. Even though we knew that we have not performed the best of the school, but we expected the best return. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward us in the dunya and the akhirah, the most of the hasanat. And when a person, according to the hadith of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, when a person asks 3 times, Oh Allah, Allahumma ajirni min al-nar, Allahumma ajirni min al-nar, Allahumma ajirni min al-nar, the Jahannam, the hell says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, do not enter this person into me. He does not want. And when we ask for the Jannah 3 times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Jannah says, Oh Allah, enter this person into me. And we should ask for those al-Adha, the highest of the Jannah, which we should seek for. If we do not have that belief, this thing has no value. ومن الناس من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من خير ومنهم من يقولون ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب. So there are people who only seek for the worldly gain. So the worldly life is very short. We all know that how long it's going to last. So but Allah says, if you don't ask for hereafter, there's nothing for you in the hereafter. To get what is in the hereafter, we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it shows us that we depend on Allah, we trust in Allah. The another misunderstanding which I have about myself is that, I'm not saying anybody, myself, that if I'm praying, if I'm doing sadaqah, if I'm doing khairat, and I'm doing good deeds, why should a hardship come in my way? All the prophets of Allah were the best of the men Allah has ever created. They were the superheroes of humanity. From Adam alayhi salam to Muhammad Rasulullah. Each one of them have to live through the hardship. In the Quran Allah says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ I will test you. Ibrahim alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ قَالَ إِنِّي جَعِلُكَ لِلنَّاسِ إِمَامًا. Then he asked, قَالَ وَمَنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي قَالَ لَا يَنَالُ أَحَدَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Allah says, I tested Ibrahim alayhi salam in the matter. And then when he succeeded and passed the exam, Allah says, I will make you the Imam of the mankind. Today, 3/4 of the world, either they are starting with the Judaism, what they call, but that was Islam, then the Christianity, which was Islam, and Muhammad Rasulullah's Ummah, that is Islam. 3 to 6 billion out of the whole world population, we can see the majority of the world is a believer of Abrahamic faith. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him the Imam of the mankind. And those who do not, they do wrong whatever they did, but they are still considered the descendant of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And today in the world you will not find any place, any relic of the residual of the sign of Ibrahim alayhi salam being anywhere. Even though some group claimed that he was only their father, where he was the father of the Semites, the Arabs, which is basically what we call today, and Jews. Only Kaaba has. وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلًّى. Take the footprint spot as a place of prayer, not worship the rock, worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but according to his footprint. That's the concept. We should be very clear about these things. Many people say, well, Indians actually basically are claiming that the Kaaba was their temple, because there will be a snam in there, there was idols in the Kaaba. So today now you will hear the Indian talking that they think they can expand. Today they have already taken over Dubai area by having the temple, and some of the people are worshipping there who are apparently al-Muslim too. So they are claiming that they will, till they take the Kaaba, because they are their temple, which Muslim took over in the time of Rasulullah. Just be aware of how people think. It was originally a house of worship. إن أول بيت وضع للناس الذي ببكة مباركا وهدى للعالمين فيه آية بينات ومقام إبراهيم ومن دخله كان آمنا ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا ومن كفر فإن الله غني عن العالمين. The first house Allah ever built for the mankind to come to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was in the valley of Mecca. Before the city of Mecca was developed, the valley is Mecca, which is mentioned in the Quran and also in the Bible mentioned about it. And the city of Mecca established when Banu Jarham found Hajra radiallahu anha or alayha salam with her son Ibrahim Ismail alayhi salam, and they settled down and they developed the city of Mecca there. The city is Mecca, valley is Mecca, and there is a mountain of Faran where 10,000 saints who came with Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, and they opened the Kaaba, and this is what the blessing for us. So we should be very mindful that Quran begin in Ramadan and end in Dhul-Hijjah. That's where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, today I have perfected your faith. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati. I have completed and fulfilled my ni'mah. There is no better ni'mah than Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is no better ni'mah than the Quran Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And there is no better ni'mah than the deen Islam which we have got in the way of life, which is based on the purity. One thing very clearly should be understood. People ask, and this is a question, which is again, we are very open culture today. Everything is open, nothing is secret, right? There's no think the modesty considered. So people ask why Islam is against same gender marriage or relationship, right? You know what I mean, right? Everybody understood when I say same gender marriage understanding. Why? Islam is a religion which is for the purity and tazakki. What the dua Ibrahim alayhi salam made? ربنا وبعث فيهم رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياتك ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة ويزكيهم. Fourth thing, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied, and this was quest dua made by Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam, and when they were raising the Kaaba, wall of the Kaaba, and 6,000-7,000 more, whatever number of years ago. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied in Surah Al-Imran, لقد من الله على المؤمنين إذ بعث فيهم رسولا من أنفسهم يتلو عليهم آيات ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين. So first thing is the tazakiyah, the tazkiyah or the cleanliness and purity, the pakizgi which we call in Urdu, which is the cleanliness. Our faith teaches us to be clean, tahara, and that is what Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said. The first thing Allah replied, that purify the humanity and mankind. This is why when we go to bathroom, we use water. This is why when we are unclean, we take water to wash our body. And this is where Muslims are the one in the history of humanity introduced using water for going to bathroom. Ask anybody. It's Muslim who introduced to tahara. Today they invented bidet. They ask what was the reason of invention of such thing. Because people were not even using anything after they go to urinate or bowel movement. It was a Muslim who introduced the concept of using water, the tahara, the purity and the cleanliness. So we as a Muslim have an obligation to the mankind that we should convey the message of Rasulullah. We are the ambassadors of Rasulullah. And we are the awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna awliya nasi. We are the one who are closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to all the messengers. They are our prophets. So there are a lot of things to talk about. Time is limited. Just masjid should arrange, my humble request, in these 10 days for the children to be taught and for the adults. Many times we don't know. We need to learn and sometimes we forget. So we need to refresh our mind. And whenever we come to the masjid, it's the house of Allah, where you get a blessing. So this is the moment to take the opportunity. And we really do not do much in the Dhul-Hijjah as if it is not part of our life. It is only for those who are over there. And once we leave there, we are back to ourselves. So when we come back, we should find a change. We should have a resolution. Because Muharram is coming. We should have a resolution what we want to do. As I was saying last time, we finished the Ramadan, we should have a resolution. Our resolution should be part of the political system to make the laws to be not made the way they are being made. Because they are making laws in ignorance, and we are the ones who are supposed to help the community and country. You can turn.